Bobby Lashley in BioXcellerator. Welcome, Bobby.
Thank you.
How are you? How are you feeling today?
I feel good. I mean, it's a long week of a lot of stuff, but I feel good overall.
Perfect. When was your procedure?
I did one Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I had my last one today, Thursday.
Okay, so it's been a long, short week. It passes by quick, but then every day you have something going on.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask you, tell me, why is it that you started looking into stem cells versus other treatments for your injuries?
Well, the first thing is I tried stem cell a few years ago for my knee. I was coming back to professional wrestling, and being an older athlete, I had knee surgery before. My knee was it was hurting me to do like squats and just basic exercises. And going to the WWE, we're on a very rigorous schedule. So in order to cope with that, I had stem cell done, and I felt that it worked okay, but the amount that they gave me was a smaller amount. So I kept doing more research on it, and I was approached by Rey Mysterio, a good friend of mine in the locker room, and he was telling me about BioXcellerator. And he was telling me how they do everything different. It's a whole different process. The amount of stem cells and everything like that, it's just more cutting edge. So I did some more research, spoke with the people from BioXcellerator, and decided to come down.
So how was that process with your patient advocate through all the stages on the consultation?
It was great. That was my favorite part about being down here. I mean, we were taken care of so well. I came down here with Cris Cyborg. She's down here also. But I mean, everything's been great. I mean, I've known what was going on. The doctors explained everything and made it really a great trip.
Yeah.
Aside from having to get poked a lot, I'm not really good with needles, but everything was really relaxed, and I felt really good with the treatment.
Great. So you were saying you knew about BioXcellerator because of?
Rey Mysterio, he was one of the guys that told me about it. We were just sitting in the locker room after one of the Raws, and he was talking to myself and Kurt Angle, and he was just kind of telling us about BioXcellerator and some of the things they did. So I checked out their Instagram page first and see who was coming down here, and then after that I just kind of did a little bit more research, and I contacted the guys, and one thing led to another, and I came down.
So that's what eventually made you decide, like, okay, BioXcellerator, let's do this.
Yeah. I mean, once I made the call, I was educated really on what they were doing, because there's so many places around that are doing stem cells, especially in the United States. But when I actually spoke to the guys from BioXcellerator, then I understood that there's a huge difference between what's going on in the States and what's going on down here. So I definitely wanted to do this as opposed to doing that again.
At what point you knew that the clinic was in Medellin?
Well, when I checked on their Instagram page, I saw that it was and it was a place that I've wanted to go before. I traveled everywhere, and I've never been to Colombia, so it was kind of on my checklist, my bucket list of places to go. So I thought, kill two birds with one stone, come to some place that I've never been to, that I want to go to, and then get this treatment that I definitely need.
What were your expectations from Medellin before you came here? And then it's two different questions. What would be your expectations before and after of the city, and then your expectations before and after from the clinic here in our facilities?
When I came down, I really didn't have any expectations. I was actually calling some of the guys that were already down here, like Brian Cage, and I was just trying to ask them, John Hennigan, Ray, and I was trying to ask them, what's going on? And the one thing that everyone told me, they said, man, it is super state of the art, very, very professional. And that's the one thing that I wanted, because coming from the United States to another country to do a treatment, you get kind of worried, because you hear stories of traveling to different countries and being like in maybe a rundown hospital, or just trying to get these different procedures done. And that's one thing that they told me. They said it's really state of the art, and it's very, very professional, very clean, very nice clinic, and everybody there was outstanding. So my expectations was to come into a place kind of sort of like where we're at. And as far as the city, I didn't really know too much about it. I've always wanted to go to Cartagena because the walled city, that's what I was doing some research on. And I heard some stuff about Medellin, but I didn't know too much about it. So I started doing some research on that also. And there's a lot of history here. So when I was coming down here, the driver was telling me some of the history, and everybody's been telling me the history. So I actually got an opportunity to go out to some of the places and see what they were talking about.
And how was that experience?
It was super cool. It was super cool. Comuna 13?
Yeah.
That was awesome. Just going there and seeing all the paintings and just seeing what they're doing with the kids. I'm a big advocate for kids. Like, I love working with kids, underprivileged kids, and just being able to, lend some support. And that was one thing when I went up there, the kids, the energy was really good. The kids were excited, they were dancing on the street. So I was having an opportunity to just kind of like go around, talk to some kids, take some pictures with people, and I thought that was amazing.
Great, and I have to do that trip myself. I haven't been there. I saw you doing some coffee, making your own coffee there or something.
The coffee thing was really cool. Unfortunately, because of the treatment, I couldn't have the caffeine, but I will buy a couple bags and take back with me for sure. Colombian coffee, gotta do it.
What would you tell someone that's looking out for stem cell procedures and they're interested, and would you invite them to BioXcellerator? What's your general experience with the treatment?
I think it's amazing, and I think for what I do, between fighting and professional wrestling, I think it's a necessity. I think it's super necessary. There's so many fighters out there that are just dealing with injuries, and we say it with professional wrestling all the time. They say, "How do you feel?" You can say 100%, but there's never a time that I've been in my career where I said that I'm 100%. So there's always injuries, nagging injuries, things that you're dealing with, and I tell anybody, I came down here because I needed the surgery. I needed the treatment. A lot of guys out there, they look at me and being an older athlete, like I'm 43. I'm 43 doing professional wrestling, traveling around the world. They're like, how can you do it? I take care of myself. I do the research and I put the only positive things and good things into my body, and I make sure that I can keep going. And I say some of these other guys, if they want to extend their career, this is something that they need to look at. And then I already reached out to a handful of guys that I know right now that should be down here, and I told them, hey, let me link you up with these guys so that you can come down. And when I leave, I'm still going to call a bunch of other guys that I know need to come down here and tell them, hey, you got to come down here. I mean, the city's gorgeous, the facilities are amazing, and the treatments are definitely needed for what we do.
Definitely. Would you come back to Medellin and get treated once again?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I'm just trying to figure out what else I can get done. I had so much done this time, but I will definitely come back. I think I talked with the guys, and there's a couple other things that I kind of want to address. So when I go back, I'm going to recover, get back on the road, and then when I get an opportunity to come back down, I'll definitely come back down.
So anything else, your last words that you would like to tell the people out there in general? Once again, just the invitation to, this whole new world.
Yes. You know what? There was a doctor that told me one time before, he said, nowadays, you don't have to get old. And I don't want to say it like that, but you don't have to go, because there's so many treatments out there that can just rejuvenate yourself, make yourself feel better. And this is just something that I think, like I said before, everyone needs to consider. Injuries, or if they just want to feel better. I mean, like I said, in my sport, my profession, between professional wrestling and MMA, every day you're hurting. Every day you're hurting. And we have to keep going. You have to perform, you have to entertain the crowd. So in order to do that, you have to take the necessary steps to keep yourself in tip-top shape, and this is it. Like, I can't think of anything else that I can do. I mean, you do the regular stuff, massage, chiropractic work and everything like this, but this is on a whole different level. This is kind of like turning back the hands of time, and I think that that's the most important thing about coming down here.